A Lucille Ball biopic is in the works with an equally iconic cast, so it's time to take a look at the actress, comedian, and studio mogul's lasting legacy to remember how she blazed a trail for women in Hollywood to follow, and why we fell in love with Lucy in the first place.
Remember that name. Might have had a meaty man.
On this IMDbrief, we break down what to expect from the upcoming film and how Lucy broke barriers for generations of women to come. Writer-director Aaron Sorkin will helm Being the Ricardos for Amazon, with Nicole Kidman and Javier Bardem in final talks to play Lucille Ball and her co-star/business partner/then husband Desi Arnaz. And J.K. Simmons as I Love Lucy castmate William Frawley, who played their cantankerous neighbor Fred Mertz.
Oh, Mertz.
Sorkin's been Hollywood's go-to screenwriter for cracking hard-to-tell true stories, like The Social Network and Molly's Game. And he recently won the Best Screenplay Golden Globe for The Trial of the Chicago 7. Much like another of his scripts, Steve Jobs, he'll contain Being the Ricardos to a snapshot from Ball's life, the fraught, behind-the-scenes drama of making just one episode of the iconic sitcom from the initial 1951 to 1957 run that shot Lucy to superstardom. I Love Lucy wasn't just the most watched series on television for 4 of its 6 seasons. The landmark sitcom about a meddling housewife's ridiculous schemes to get into showbiz broke new ground by introducing TV's first biracial couple, as well as live audiences and their real laughter to sitcom production, and spun off several other Lucy-adjacent ventures that kept audiences in stitches for nearly a decade. From the first I Love Lucy in 1951 to the final Lucy Desi Comedy Hour in 1960.
How do you do, darling?
Now, there's plenty of drama for Sorkin to mine from these interpersonal relationships while under the stress of delivering a weekly broadcast, but Ball's trailblazing story extends far beyond Lucy, from her decade as a struggling actress in thankless and forgettable film roles, to the years working as a vaudeville act with her Cuban-American bandleader husband Arnaz that would become the basis for their sitcom, to the wild success of the series and their production company Desilu that next ventured
to boldly go where no man has gone before.
Desilu is responsible for Star Trek hitting the airwaves in 1966, and it was almost by accident. Ball thought from the title that the show was about USO performers traveling around the world to entertain the troops. Star Trek. And she fought NBC to get a pilot produced. When she learned what the show was really about, she still championed Star Trek, and although the expensive hour-long production sent the company into a deficit, Desilu did not waver in supporting Gene Roddenberry's cerebral science fiction.
As I was saying, a fascinating cultural development of a kind which hasn't been seen in ages.
As the first woman to head a major studio, Ball fought for quality, and Desilu popularized the now standard multicam shoot for sitcoms, using expensive 35mm film stock so that her show would look better and last longer, which worked out great for Ball as the company retained the rebroadcast rights to episodes. Desilu also produced the original Mission Impossible series, so if you love to see Tom Cruise risk life and limb for eye-popping stunts, you have Lucy to thank. After all these years, we still love Lucy, and can't wait to see how Sorkin and his cast celebrate how she led the way for women to follow in both comedy and in showbiz. For more Hollywood legends and trending tales, stay glued to imdb.com/IMDbrief.